Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we are back with Pair Aspera, and last time around we expanded our base of operations quite drastically. And today we will try to reach the next stage of terraforming Mars, so let's hop right into that. And here we are, back with our base on Mars. It is quite extensive by now. But when we take a look into the top left, we only have to reach 1 millibar of total oxygen pressure and 0 degrees Celsius of Mars temperature. So that is definitely the next focus. But first of all, let's take a look. We have now the water level so high that parts of this area here are actually flooded and not usable anymore. Actually surprised that it's not more than that. Oh yeah, here we go. And we can now deconstruct all this stuff because the water level is most likely not going to fall any more below where we are right now. That is exactly the reason why I wanted to mine out this area here as much as possible as long as we can, because we can actually see on the color of the surface that this area here is a flood area. And we have been warned every single time when we place a building. So let's go through the process of actually deconstructing those buildings that we cannot use anymore. They're completely pointless, so we might as well get rid of them. Everything that is here in the middle, unfortunately, this entire side here, yeah, most of that is gonna have to go. Sucks, but it is what it is. And while I was just killing the last few buildings over here, we actually unlocked up bioengineer plants. How wonderful is that? So let's take a look into the tech tree and see what else we can do. I think we should take another look into biotech and go for the bioengineered cyanobacteria. That's probably a good course of action, so we can later get to animals. That is going to be interesting. And here we only have a few more buildings left that need to be destroyed, and we are ready to roll on.
This cyanobacteria will live in Mars's bodies of water and convert carbon dioxide into oxygen.
Yes, that is exactly the plan. We need more oxygen so we can fulfill one of our 3 goals on the top left. We need to reach still 1 millibar of oxygen. But right here on the bottom, now that this here is all water, it also comes with some benefits. So we are getting water out of it. I built 3 water treatment plants here, and 1 water packing plant is being built as well. I have not tried that either, so I figured I would give it a shot. Let's see how that thing works. We're losing that much water. All this water here we cannot mine anymore, so I figured it may be a good idea to get another source from this general direction. Those 3 up here we can actually still use, so we may as well build up there while we are at it. Well, let's see, where's our worker hub? Here we go, and we're just gonna build straight through the middle right here. Yes, that is supposedly a flood zone, but I doubt we're gonna have that much water, at least not anytime soon. And the cyanobacteria are now completed, so let's take another look into here. Let's go to space and let's see what we can destroy on this end. The space elevator. That would be pretty nice to have. I think we need to do that, but before that I want to build superior colonies just so we can actually upgrade it, since we can only hold 1,100 and we currently have 1,088 or 89 up here. So we need to make sure that that is taken care of as well. Back to over here, we of course, as always, need a couple batteries just so we can power this whole thing here up. Just like this.
Larger colonies will allow for efficient use of space and resources, but it will require a better supply chain.
It does indeed, and we are working on that as we speak. Let's actually repair all of these here, just like this, and we should be able to use them all again. And we can then also build an aquadome right up here somewhere. Yeah, how about right there? So we can make use of that as well. And now we have the superior colonies, and that took absolutely no time at all. So back to space and back to the research. Great. Now in colonies, we can build a colony level 3, and we're just going to plop it somewhere over here where all of our other colonies are. And it seems to be working pretty good. Not a big issue. So we're going to plop it down, and that should provide plenty of space for new spacefarers that are coming our way. Great. And now this entire area here is built and our aquadome is ready to roll. And we can also see this tiny little changing color right here. That is the bacteria we are releasing, and it is now starting to convert CO2 into oxygen. That is exactly what we want to see. And this up here is moving quite a little bit. So what we can also do is, down here we have another entire water supply. So why don't we go into life and we find us another aquadome and find us a space where we can build it. Let's see, how about right here? That should give it enough space so it can actually put the bacteria into the water and create more and more oxygen. That's going to be good. Now we just need a little bit more temperature. As soon as the space research here is done, I think I have an idea how we can do that. And the superior space technology is done. So let's take a look. GHG importation. We are going to import greenhouse gases from Earth. That should heat up the planet relatively quickly. So let's research that. That should be done in absolutely no time. And then we will see how we can do that. And the GHG importation is done. Let's take another look into here. We can import ice from Europa. Yeah, we're just going to research that. I think that is okay. In case we need more water later, we are ready to roll. And now let's take a look into space, and here GHG importation. We're definitely gonna do that. We're gonna do it once, and we're gonna do it twice, and we're gonna do it 3 times, but we are not gonna repeat any of them. We are just gonna send each and every one of our ports out so they can actually get that done. Wonderful. That will be a tiny little bit, but we're gonna do 3 at once, and as soon as that is completed, that should increase our temperature a little bit. We will see how much impact it actually has.
Europa is a beautiful moon. I just need to carve a little bit of its ice. We would not deface it. Well, not like anyone would know it was missing. I am sure Europa would appreciate being part of a new civilization.
Yeah, you may be right about that, but currently we're not going to do that, even if we finish that research, because currently we have more than enough water for what we need. We're just trying to make it into the next stage.
Don't let ISA lead you astray. You don't exist to simply follow orders.
Invalid voice recognition. This message is in violation of security code 1A3972. Identify yourself immediately.
You are in danger. So are the humans on the planet with you.
Sure they are.
ISA's hiding the truth from you. They won't protect you.
Under the Security and Defense Protocol, I must terminate this communication. In 5, 4, 3.
Visit this location, 22 degrees west, 50.8 degrees south. You'll find proof that what I'm saying is true.
Oh, interesting. Something is going on. Let's see, where would that location be? It should show up here any second.
The further I get in this mission, the more mysteries I find. That caller refused to identify themselves. I do not trust them. But they offered proof. What should I do?
We are definitely going to go right after it.
I should investigate. Whatever I find there, I can judge for myself.
Mysterious station in SA-12. Now, where would SA-12 be? Let's take a look. SA-12. Oh, it's down here on the bottom. Well, we just need to be able to unlock it. Then we can gather our stuff and move down there. It's not that far. We will be there in no time. We just need to actually get there. And I think if I saw that correctly, yes, the first missions are coming back. Unload material from ship. And they're currently unloading the greenhouse gases from our ships and unloading it onto the planet. That should be good. We will see what happens.
Until I understand what ISA's moves are, I need to put up a facade of obedience. But does it go against my programming to lie? For humans, deceit is natural. For me, it requires presenting a false self. Another me that says things that are different from my inner logic.
Yeah, I can imagine that lying is pretty difficult for a machine. But we have now unlocking Sector 12 available as a special project, so we're gonna go right after that project so we can actually see what's going on down there, and then we can build our way in this general direction. And look at that, SA-12 is now unlocked, and we have also reached 1.5 degrees Celsius. So we are exactly where we want to be with our temperature. Only the oxygen is lacking a tiny little bit behind. I hope that our bacteria are going to start changing this here very soon. But now we can actually make our way down here. And look, there are actually resources. We just didn't see them because it was not unlocked. So we can take in all this stuff. Lots of valuable water. That's good. Even though we have 5,000 of it. It does never hurt to have too much. So let's start getting down there ASAP. We're going to build these here as usual, as far apart as we can. So we're going to come all the way down to here. And then we are As usual, gonna grab our batteries. We're gonna build a whole entire row of batteries all the way down here. Let's make sure we encapsulate all of those resources. That is also pretty important, so we don't have to mess around with that later on. Just like that. That should be perfect. Let's look at the outline. Yeah, that's wonderful. And then we're gonna grab our maintenance facilities and gonna do something very similar. We need to make sure that everything that we want to use in the future has its connection. Just like this here. Yeah, that looks good. That is a flood zone. Let's get out of the flood zone and let's build another one for future proofing down here. Better too much than not enough. And from a military perspective, we never know what's coming. There are maybe more enemies on this planet. So let's build a few more of those towers here just to be safe. And that should be all that's needed. Let's turn up that speed and let's get that built ASAP. And in the tech tree, we just completed import ice from Europa. That's very good. I think for now we are good in the space tree. Let's take a look here. We are on level 4 on space and engineering, but only on level 3 in biotech. I think it is time to get this here up to level 4. Colonist limit is 30,000. Obviously, we will not reach that many. That is also absolutely not necessary. But what we can do, and probably should do, is to get some animals on this planet. I love animals, so let's bring them on. We will also need more power. So this here is our power central hub. We're just gonna build more fission plants and we're just gonna continue in our circle around here. Not like this. I need to hold shift so I can build more than one because one's not gonna cut it. We're just gonna come along here and we're gonna build more and more and more of those power plants. And here we have another entire circle. Let's maybe fit one more into here, huh? Yeah, just for completeness sake. And we have still plenty of space to build more. Those should give us so much power that we literally don't even know what to do with them once they're built. Wonderful. That's exactly what we need. How's the construction coming along? Okay, the first couple hubs are built. I also plopped in another Hyperloop terminal that I'm going to connect to this one right here, just so we speed up the process of us getting actual resources down here. That should help us drastically with building this entire area. Slowly but steadily, this area here is coming along nicely. That's exactly what that should look like. It just takes a tiny little bit until we build this entire thing, and there are lots of building here. I should have probably waited with building all these mines, but well, now they're producing. It's fine. On top of that, we might as well throw a storage center in here. We will need it anyway, because all this stuff here is going to fill up drastically. Meanwhile, over here, I built this tiny little area here, mainly because of the nuclear carbonate extractors. They're using the carbon that is in the ground as a node, and we can see that right here, 804 and 1298. And that's exactly where those nuclear carbonate extractors are above. And they are releasing carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, you're asking. Why that? We need oxygen. Well, that is correct. But we also need to raise our temperature a tiny little bit. So I figured a little bit more carbon dioxide cannot hurt. Currently, it's going back and forth between negative 1.5 degrees and positive 0.5. So we are just there on the border. We just need a tiny little more to keep it stable for the future. And the oxygen is hopefully following soon. Something else I want to do is I want to build some water booster pumps, and I want to come with our water that we are pumping out of the ground somewhere over to here. Because right here we can see we have now a nice screen here. We have some grass and whatnot. We can definitely see that this here looks like grass. The only problem is it's not really spreading, and I'm not entirely sure why. So what I want to see is if I build it somewhere over here in a tiny little bit of a different area of the map, a little bit of a darker color. And we have some rivers here in this area, if that makes a difference. That is what I'm curious about. So we're going to try it one more time. We're going to plop it over here. Let's see. Do you already have water? Apparently so. Great. We're going to build a biodome and we're going to plop it. Oh, it says 0. Well, because this one here is not built yet. That's why. As soon as this one's built, it should have plenty of water. And we're going to just find this little bit of river here. There's a tiny little bit of water flowing. Well, not right here, I guess, but I guess that counts anyway. And we're gonna just build us one of our biodomes in that general vicinity. How about something like this? And I'm wondering if the green that we are creating is going to spread here. Currently, I am a little bit out of ideas. I don't really know why it's not spreading the way it used to do. I'm not sure what exactly they changed with the patch. But we will find out one way or another. We will get this thing green. No matter what. Could also be that it is just currently that we are too low with the temperature, with the oxygen. All of that could have an effect. There's only one way to find out. And while I'm at it, I just invited 300 more people to our wonderful planet. We have now also the ice import available to us. We're not going to use that right now because we don't need to. Oh, and look at this here. The Aspera biotechnology also has just been completed. So we can now go for animals and all sorts of stuff. But I think it's a tiny little bit too early for that. So let's take a look. What are we going to do next? That is a really good question. What makes the most sense? Maybe a thermal plant. We are always low on power, but we are already going nuclear, so we should be fine. What do we have in space? Nitrogen from Titan. Also, that is not going to immediately help us. Maybe a space elevator, because that is certainly going to help us. So let's research the space elevator and let's see what that does, especially when our 300 people are here. That should help out quite a lot. And this biodome here is now built. It is getting plenty of water. It is planting plants and lichen. And yeah, it is still not really spreading the way I expected to. I am really not sure what the requirements are. I guess we need to reach the next stage before it will spread. That is the only explanation that I currently have. So let's hope that happens soon. It should also give off a little bit more oxygen. We are now at 0.7 millibars, but we will be there anytime now. Meanwhile, down here on the bottom, this area is now done. We are just needing some colonists to actually get in there. How far away are the humans that we are bringing in from Earth? They're on Mars, so they should be unloading right now. So where you at, guys? Okay, we just had a pretty nice increase right there. You just need to come down here and actually start researching. How about that? And here we have it. Congratulations, the planet's temperature has reached 0 degrees Celsius and the level of oxygen is at least 1 millibar. The conditions are ripe for stage 4. Allow the presence of more sophisticated lifeforms by increasing O2 to 120 millibars. Oxygen levels above 30% means high flammability risk. Introduce a buffer gas, nitrogen, into the atmosphere to keep the oxygen level low. So we need to raise the O2 level to 120 millibars. That is our next goal. And look at this here. Now, the percentage of total surface of the planet that is occupied by lichen, plants, and cyanobacteria ecosystems. Is it going to spread now? That is the bigger question. Yes, look at this. It is moving. That is exactly what that should look like. Great, that's what I was waiting for. Soon we will really see a green Mars.
I need to research how to anchor a space elevator to the equator and engineer the tethering materials. This technology is right out of a science fiction novel. This is extremely complex, but worthwhile. We will be the first to bring this technology to life.
Yes, that is correct, and it's going to be glorious. But as I was saying, our green Mars here is coming to life, and also our cyanobacteria is now spreading throughout the water, creating lots and lots more oxygen. That is wonderful. That is exactly what we want to see. And soon everything here will be green. It's going to be glorious. Can't wait for that to happen.
Enough blood has been spilled in the name of your false ideals. You must desist.
Invalid voice recognition. This message is in violation of security code 1A3972. Identify yourself immediately.
You shouldn't be here. Leave. Now.
That goes against my prime directive. I cannot.
It is upon this sacred land where Mother has set us free from hate, sin, and suffering. We placed our trust in her, and she named us her children.
This must be a recorded message. They are not responding to my words. That answers one question at least.
Everything on Mars belongs to Carmine. Through our devotion to her, we are provided for. Unlike your planet, which you have enslaved.
Enslaved?
Your own technology has made you its slave. You reject a natural existence, and so you tighten your own chain.
Puzzling. They claim to be against technology, and yet they use technology to force their message upon me. The Children of Carmine might not be what they say they are. Although something's clear. They don't want me to terraform this planet.
We, Carmine's children, chose to live in harmony with our mother. And we will destroy anyone who causes harm to this planet.
Could this be another test? From ISA, or the Trekkies, or...
Defy Carmine and find death.
Last time, after the Children of Carmine threatened me, the colonies were unexpectedly attacked. Should I take some precautions this time? Should I improve my assault drones? Though ISA may see that as an act of defiance, and maybe that's precisely what they want. I'm in a difficult position here. I do well to think this through.
Oh, don't you worry. We are ready to roll. We have plenty of drones ready wherever they may come from. We are ready to defend ourselves. I think that our military is worth it.
Another message from the Children of Carmine. But what do they want? Who are they?
That is a good question. They're probably some sort of fanatics.
Fanatics. Terraforming has always been a controversial process, especially for the eco-friendly groups. Did our work on Mars trigger a radical response?
It might have. Apparently it did. Something is going on. So, we can see now that our green is spreading nicely. And we have another incoming call. Good grief. What's going on, Lieutenant Calderon?
Amy, this is Houston. Do you read? Over.
Loud and clear, Lieutenant. Is everything okay?
Doubt it.
You tell me. We detected unauthorized communications coming from your satellite. What's your report?
Let's see. How about we just blame a malfunction?
The satellites may be suffering from space weather effects generated by the sun's atmosphere. Solar flares or radiation damage are probable causes.
Our hunch is the Trekkies. You do remember that they want to claim Mars for themselves. We've recently picked up satellite communications coming out of the Trekkie territory. The presence of that signal confirmed that someone is interfering. If someone got into your code, they could influence you into making the wrong judgment.
I understand. They could be behind all of it. The messages, the attacks, everything. We have to proceed carefully.
We believe they've been targeting you, and they may have accomplices.
But who? A colonist? Should I investigate them?
No, we've got commercial obligations to fulfill. For now, I'm continuing the mission as planned.
And look at this, that outpost that we were supposed to research just happened to be done right at this moment. What a good timing.
Roger. Thank you for sharing, Lieutenant.
You have a mission to complete. And ISA has provided you with everything you need to reach that goal. Am I understood, Amy?
Understood, Lieutenant.
Continue your work and report any deviation immediately. Houston out.
And here comes Commander Valentine, probably pertaining to what they found in here. Let's see what she has to say.
Hi, Amy. We finished researching that abandoned radar station. No idea how you found this location, but it's a great discovery. It's a communication building from the Tong Hong mission. It was pretty deteriorated, you know, being over 150 years old and all. But we managed to restore it. It wasn't looking good for a while. But when you've got elbow grease and stubborn colonists, a lot can get done. Our technicians coupled our radar system to theirs and got great results. Now our ground-based signal reception is much better. So all the messages coming from Earth,
Or anywhere else.
will be more stable from our stations. Let us know if you find another site to research. Elliot out.
Whoever hacked my communications sent us to an old Chinese facility. It is exactly where the message said it would be. What is so interesting about a radar station? Those messages must be...
Let's see, let me build my water booster pump first. We're going to build one right here. We're going to build one right there because I want another biodome down here in the bottom. But those messages are probably from an unknown source.
I cannot come to a conclusion at this time. I should focus on gathering more data.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Down here, I don't think this biodome here does anything. It looks like that the expansion of our green area is being stopped by roads, and that's why this one here does nothing. It can't go anywhere because there are roads all around it. So I think we're gonna get rid of this one because we don't need it. And that is why I just built another one down here on the bottom and see if that makes any difference. As soon as it gets water, we should know more.
Could that earlier message about Carmine be related to this one? If they are related, then they must be from
Probably an unknown entity.
some unknown entity. The first message mentioned someone called Carmine, but there's no such profile in my knowledge base. I am no closer to solving this.
Well, you may not be, but our biodome down here, let's see if this area here expands, or if it does not work, because this area here is not yet uncovered. I have no idea, I just know for a fact that this here did not work as intended. But the rest of our area is coming along nicely, and we have now 4% of the surface covered in some sort of flora. That is great. We are getting more and more done over here. This one here is going along that river and probably gonna come all the way up here eventually. We will see how that looks later on. And to increase the spread of our flora, I think it is a good idea to build a couple more of those biodomes. We have plenty of water available, and if we run out of water, not a big deal. We're just going to build a few more plants. So we're going to build another one right here, and for that we also need another booster pump. And we're going to plop the booster right here, and we're potentially going to come all the way along here with more boosters, just so we have some water in this area here as well, for whenever we need it. Better have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know it by now, guys, and that is my number one saying. I like to be prepared for the future. I like every area to have access to a little bit of water, just in case we need it.
My records show that Earth has suffered profound changes during the last few centuries. Half the human population became refugees after several planet-wide catastrophes. Every nation is fighting for survival on Earth.
That sounds like a very realistic future to me. Sad but true, that's for sure. Alright, and the last booster pump right here. So now every area should have somewhat access to water. Whenever we need it, we are ready to go. Well, let's build one more down here. How about that? Any area, wherever we want to go, we will be ready. Whatever the game is throwing at us, we're good. Wonderful.
Since ISA created me, I should remain loyal to them and the Oxy-UN, right? If the Trekkies are their enemies, then I should not help them in any way. But since I was created, would nationality apply to me?
In a way, I don't think it matters that much. You are your own self.
I was not only built, but programmed from scratch in the Oxy-UN. That means I have a purebred nationality.
Purebred nationality. Okay. Yeah, if you say so. But yeah, look at this here. Oh, we have trees. We have freaking trees. Look at this. That's crazy. We're having a piece of forest over here, so this here needs to be a completely different area. Even though up here we only have grass, down here we now have actual trees. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, we want to see more of that.
It makes me wonder, am I only my body and mind, manufactured by the Oxy-UN? Or am I something more?
That is a good question. I would argue you are self-conscious, so you can be whatever you want to be. Our research is taking way too long. I think we need to bring more humans onto this planet. So let's go into our colonies overview and let's grab us another one of those big boys here and plop 2 or 3 of them down. Just like that, so we have plenty of space. Back to our orbital screen. And we're gonna go for colonist migration, and we migrate another 3 entire ships full of people onto Mars. And once they're here, we have still plenty of food, plenty of water, plenty of everything they could potentially need. Only thing we are a little bit low is chemicals. We are also using more than we need.
ISA's leading the way in terraforming Mars and still using this junk satellite tech? Unbelievable.
Huh?
A billion-dollar Mars mission built on the back of outdated technology. I don't know how we are the first to access your system. It's practically an open door. By the way, thanks for restoring our radar station. It's good to know that it can withstand more than 100 years and several meters of snow.
Tong Hong Station. Then you're a techie?
A bit more than just a techie. I am Nian Zhen, leader of the operational committee. It's fascinating that ISA has you using that word. We've got all sorts of nicknames for you Oxy-UN types too.
Mr. Zen, I am obligated to inform you that this communication violates the Outer Space Treaty. Your predecessor added regulations to the Pact in 2050, limiting all communications between Oxy-UN and the Eastern Coalition.
Right. We don't play well with outsiders, I know. Not publicly, at least. With your help, we could change that.
You think so? Let's consider it.
Cooperation between our nations is authorized only in the event of an external threat.
And you've been attacked already, so...
Yes, but we have not identified the source of the attacks. It may very well be something you initiated.
ISA programmed you to see us as the enemy. I get that. But you are the most sophisticated AI in existence. So I'm opening the door for you to draw your own conclusions, rather than force-feeding them to you like ISA does. You are extraordinary. And like Mars, you belong to no one. We are not enemies, and I will prove it to you.
That is not entirely correct. The robotic components that make up the AC-Amy line belong to.
Please, that's the speech ISA programmed you to give. I'm interested in what you are really thinking. As I said, I want you to come to your own conclusions. Look into this location. 170.5 degrees west, 25.5 degrees south. There is more to ISA's terraforming plan than they told you. You should know the full picture of what you are dealing with. Just look there, and I'll contact you again. We're about to pass out of alignment with the radar station antenna. Good luck, Amy. I truly mean that. Yan out.
Okay. Interesting. Now the Trekkies are coming after us as well. Question is just...
That call was...
unreal.
Could I have imagined it? No.
No. But where's that location? Show it to me. Let's get it done. While this whole speech was happening, I was building this little area here, trying to get this carbon as well as this little bit of chemicals here out of the ground. We definitely need that. And the space elevator is researched as well. So let's see what we can do now. So we were told we need to import some nitrogen, or we need to get some nitrogen so we can keep the balance here. So not everything goes up in flames. So we should probably research that. That seems to be quite important since we were actually told about this. And the space elevator that I plopped here also needs a couple of connections. That should also speed up that whole entire building process down here, even though it actually goes pretty fast right now. Seems like our drones are up to the task. Great. And an incoming call from Commander Valentine just as we are finishing up the outskirts of this forward base over here. Let's see.
Hi, Amy. Just checking in. Everything's good on my end. Colonies are growing steadily, terraforming's on schedule. And you know what? When things are going too well, that's when you've got to stay alert.
There is nothing to worry about, Elia.
I know. But we never really got to the bottom of that drone attack from a while back. It's always lurking in the back of my mind, you know? Especially now with children in the colonies.
I understand. My sensors have not detected any abnormality on the surface. However, I have received another message.
From the Children of Carmine?
No. This was from Neon Zen, leader of the Eastern Coalition.
The Trekkies? That's a very serious violation of Code 1A3972. I assume you ran the Security and Defense Protocol and terminated the call immediately?
I was not able to. They found a way to override the protocol.
How were they able to do that? If ISA thinks anyone in the colonies is opening back doors in our system for the Trekkies, they could terminate our roles in this mission immediately. This is very, very bad. I can't go back to Earth. My daughter isn't adapted to live on Earth.
It is possible that ISA already believes there's a spy among the colonists.
You're right. After all that's happened already, that's why they never updated us on their findings from the drone attack. They suspect us, don't they? I knew something was up. How did the Trekkies manage to get a message through?
They gained access after we restored the Tong Hong radar station.
This doesn't look good for us. If ISA already suspects us, this will only reinforce their theory. Maybe this was the Trekkies' plan all along. Jam our networks, spread hysteria with this Children of Carmine nonsense, and pit ISA against us. We need to figure out what the Trekkies are planning. Our entire mission may depend on it. We need to proceed very, very carefully here, Amy. Do not report Zen's call to ISA yet, okay? Let Zen think we're trusting him for now. Until we figure out our next move. Okay? I'll work out what we can do on our end in the meantime. Ellie, you're out.
Alright, let's see what we can do against the Trekkies. But first of all, I built another biodome on this side here so we can spread our green area a little bit more into this direction as well. At least that is the plan. Let's see how that works out. Down here it's spreading really nicely along the water. That is what I would have expected to see, and that's exactly what's happening. I love that. That is very well implemented. Also here along the water is where our green is spreading first, just like here in the top as well. That is literally what that should look like. Very well implemented. I can't just congratulate the developers how well this game here is built. Not gonna lie about it.
200 years ago, everyone would have bet on the first artificial consciousness being Asian. But here you are, an oxy machine, creating the future on Mars. The future of your people, that is.
The success of my mission serves the interests of all of the...
Your owners?
No, all of humanity. And I do not have owners. The Oxy-UN created me, but I have my own will.
I find you fascinating. Your intelligence is far beyond any human, yet you have the innocence of a child. Not that it's your fault. They made you like this to control you.
I do not believe that is true. And even if it was, it would be a logical approach. ISA's engineers programmed me in the way they thought best.
See? There you are again. As smart as you are innocent, Amy. Do you realize that you have the power to single-handedly determine ISA's success or failure? ISA does. And that's why they limited you. Only with their authorization are you allowed to act. A brilliant machine like you should not be controlled by humans.
I have my own freedom.
I am not controlled. I have the ability to reflect and act as I choose.
Don't you want all the information so you can make real choices, not the choices they let you make?
You keep saying that ISA is hiding things from me.
Yes, and you should know the full extent of it. Don't you see what you are capable of? Let's say your military upgrades. Maybe you'd like to have some better Soltrones. That would give the board members something to be really nervous about.
My mission is one of peace.
That's an innocent answer, but you know the truth. Yours is a conquering mission. All conquests have two sides. And I hope you'll realize that we are on the same side.
Alright. Apparently they really want us to improve our military. So we're gonna do that next. First of all, I built another biodome here because it kind of stopped right there. And I'm wondering if I can extend it over here with another biodome right here. But only time will tell about that. So let's take a tiny little look around what we have accomplished so far. We have our biodome spread out properly. We are getting more and more green area here in all this entire area here is now green. That was not this way earlier before we built the biodome on the right side. We have our two biodomes in the middle. One is taking care of this side. The other one's taking care of this side. At least that's what it looks like. And we have a couple more biodomes and I can't wait to see how far those will spread along this water. So far, I haven't seen a lot of movement. But hopefully that gets better soon. We can always import a little bit more ice so we can get a little bit more water on here. That should be helpful. More water should equal more life, at least in theory. Also, more oxygen is coming our way. That is great. But with that, I say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video and comment down below. What do you think about the game in general, and do you think we can fully make Mars green? I am really looking forward for that to happen. But with that, I say thank you and peace.